One of the big complaints about RVs is the water pump, whether it's too loud or it causes the lights to flicker or the pulsating sound when you're using it. A lot of those problems aren't necessarily with the pump, it's that they're installed improperly or not installed well. There's a much better way to install these so that they work smooth, they're virtually silent. There's 5 things that we can do that are really inexpensive to just flat out make it a better install for the water pump. So let's not waste any time, let's get right into it. Now to start off, we're gonna get access to our water pump. So all these upgrades that we're gonna be talking about, you can do to any water pump that is out there, but I did do a video comparing all the water pumps side by side. We tested the sound, the pressure, the flow, all the things with water pumps we tested in that video. So if you wanna start with the best pump from that, the clear winner to me was the Seaflow 42 4-chamber pump. This isn't sponsored by Seaflow. They do sell this on eTrailer, which is a sponsor of this channel. They sell a lot of different water pumps that are on there. So if you wanted to replace one that was exactly like yours, but this one came out on top where it was right out the gate, really quiet, good flow, good pressure. So if you're replacing your pump, it's a good place to start with getting the best one that's out there. And as always, links are gonna be right down in the description and in that first comment. So that way it's real easy to find everything that we're talking about today. So now, first off is the importance of mounting, and this really does make a big difference. And what the RV manufacturers do is they just take it, they mount it to the floor, they mount it to the wall, zip it into place, and call it good. And what we learned on that test is the ones with these rubber feet really did do better for sound. But the thing is, we can take that a step further and mount it with foam underneath it. This really doesn't have to be complicated. This is something that came in the mail packaging of another product. I'm just gonna use it and cut it down. But even if you just got pipe insulation, which we're gonna be using later, cut a piece and put it underneath here and then screw it down, that's gonna give you another layer of separation to the body of the RV. The pump is going to be vibrating and you wanna dampen that vibration to the actual RV. That's gonna significantly lower the sound. We obviously had to get longer screws to go through the foam, but not too long to where we're going to damage something behind it. But this foam is going to do a good job of isolating the vibration of the pump to the RV. Now, the next thing we can do in silencing the pump even more is to have flexible tubing going to the pump and from the pump. Everywhere else in the RV, I want PEX piping, but this is the one place that I want flexible tubing because PEX piping is a lot more rigid, and so that vibration is going to transfer from the pump to whatever that next element is in the RV. But with the flexible tubing, it gives it a chance to not transfer those vibrations to the rest of the RV, making it a lot more quiet. There is one more step that we're going to have to take with this, but ours already has flexible tubing inside the RV for this. If you don't, they do have a kit at eTrailer with crimped ends already on there where you can just connect the tubing and give it that separation to that rigid pipe. Which I might do it anyways because the flexible tubing that they have in the RV doesn't have the right crimps, but the one from eTrailer, it has the factory crimped ends on there, so it's not dealing with the wrong fitting on the wrong tubing with the wrong clamp. It's all the right stuff in one package. So definitely something to consider. I should have had it for today and just put it in now. But the next step that we need to take with it is to put some pipe insulation around that tubing so that we can secure it down. Because that flexible tubing can start moving quite a bit if it's not secured down, which would again make a ton of noise. So this is the one step that I think quite a few people miss is putting that insulation on there and then securing it down. The insulation helps not transfer those vibrations for how you're securing it down. Mounting zip ties work great for something like this. You can cinch it down and secure it. So now we have more that we can do, but so far it's made a huge improvement. It sounds so much better inside than it did before. You can even see a difference. Looking at the pump when it's running, you can see that tube moving a little bit, but with that insulation and securing it down with the insulation, that vibration is not transferred to the rest of the RV. So we're not hearing that inside the RV anymore. We'll do a quick before and after, but the last problem that we want to solve is the pulsing or the light flickering when you're just trying to conserve a little bit of water in the RV, which is really typical when you're out there boondocking, you're just trickling a little bit of water, trying to rinse something off. That's when you notice that the pump's kicking on and off rapidly because you're just trying to trickle a little bit of water and it's trying to make sense of all that. And that's where an accumulator tank comes in. The nice thing about it is you have a wide variety of how you can install it on the RV. Now, for finding a mounting place for the accumulator tank, I kind of ran out of space near the pump because this area is just so crammed, but I found an area to the left that's going to work out great, which the accumulator tanks you can mount in so many different ways. It usually goes near the pump just for the simplicity and ease of the install, and you can have it pass through. For us, because of where we're putting it, we're just capping off one side and connecting the left side of the accumulator tank. It can pass through, but it's not necessary to pass through, which is great about the accumulator tank. It can be mounted and installed in so many different options. Now, before I started mounting the accumulator tank, I checked the pressure of our pump when it kicks on, so that in the accumulator tank, the pressure that needs to be at is 3 psi below when the pump is going to kick on. So I set that pressure and then connected it with PEX to the cold water side of the water system. So now with that installed, it's what this is supposed to do for us is it's going to smooth out the water and give us a little bit of a reserve when the pump comes up to pressure before that pump is going to kick on again. So it's going to eliminate all those surges and quick cycling, and the lights aren't going to be flickering anymore. And you're not going to hear that pump just kicking on and off rapidly, really quick. You could see it in the gauge before when I was just dripping the water, and you can see kind of the ticking of the gauge. Now it's a lot more smooth because it has that reserve and the pressure behind that tank. Now, I did find a problem that I created installing the accumulator tank the way that we did, is I created a water trap. So when I go to winterize it, I wouldn't be able to get the water out of that area. If I would have just installed it in line like typical, it wouldn't have been a problem. So that's exactly what I did. I connected it in line so that way it will winterize just fine. It's something to keep in mind if you're not putting the accumulator tank right next to the pump. But if you do put them right together, you use that RV silencing kit, you don't even have to really do any plumbing. You just connect it with the hoses, and it makes putting one in really easy. Moment of truth, let's see how all these things put together sound inside the RV. The before and after is a big difference. This is what it sounded like before, and now this is what it sounds like after. And it's even quieter on the inside of the RV. You can still hear it a bit. I almost have to try and listen for it on this side of the RV. And I know there's kind of a balance. Some people like to be able to hear the pump a little bit at least. So that way, if nobody's using the water, you can hear that water pump's kicking on and off. And then you might know that there's a leak. But we have those leak detectors that we put underneath in that area as well. But definitely a huge difference in the sound of the water pump. The sound I'm getting most is the water coming out of the faucet rather than the pump itself. Here in the kitchen, I hear the water because we're even farther removed from the pump. I have to really listen to see if I can hear the pump. So it definitely moved from something that's somewhat of an annoyance to something that is very low in the background. So tackling it in those 5 ways, picking a pump that's already quiet, mounting it on foam to suppress that vibration, having flexible lines that also have foam on them and are secured down so they're not rattling against something else, and having that accumulator tank so that it's not cycling on and off quickly, giving that light flicker and that stuttering of the water when using it on low. So using those 5 tactics will definitely quiet your pump even more so that it's not an annoyance for the RV. So I hope some of this information helps you out. So if you wanted to silence your pump, get it to something less annoying and a better sounding system, there's a handful of tips in order to do that. So I think that's going to do it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope that it helped you out in some way. So as always, if we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will. See you next video. Take care.